Next recipe I'm going to share with you is one that I've been using for at least 15 plus years. It's one that came from our daughter's preschool when they were there, so thank you very much to Early Birds for this. The ladies there, obviously one of them used to make these, and they're still popular in our house as they were when the girls were at Early Birds. So to start with, you need to preheat your oven to about 170 degree electric, about gas mark 4, a little bit gentler than usual. I've got 3 baking trays. This makes about 30 biscuits, and so I've got 3 baking trays. I've put greaseproof paper on, but if you just want to grease them, that's absolutely fine. Then you want to get some butter that you've softened. It could be stalk margarine, the hard margarine, but ideally it needs to be a block of margarine or butter. And you need 120 grams in a mixing bowl, and to that you're going to add 120 grams of sugar. I've got white caster sugar here. If you've got brown sugar, because that's all you've got in at the moment, I'm sure it'll work with that. It'll probably just be a slightly sweeter, more rich flavour. First thing I'm going to do is whisk the butter and the sugar together until they are combined, and the butter should start to look just a little bit lighter in colour. Now to that I'm going to add a tablespoon of honey. If you haven't got a tablespoon, you could either weigh 15 grams of honey, or you could guess. This honey is now not going to come out of here because it's quite old. There we are. Honey's one of those ingredients that somebody said they found honey that is very, very, very old, and it survives because it's so high in sugar. It doesn't really go out of date. So I use that when I do my cooking, and my honey's maybe a year old. I think I would be fine. So honey goes in. That's really sticky, so I'm going to put that into the wash, and then I'm going to whisk this again with the honey in there just for a moment or two. Now to that I'm going to add 1 egg yolk. I separated my eggs, and I was really, really careful to separate the yolk and the white, and not to get any yolk in the white, because although I don't need the white in this recipe, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to make some meringues with this later on. So this egg white is going to go to one side. I've got it covered with some cling film, but the egg yolk is going to go in here, and again another quick whisk. Now this is where I like to go rogue a bit. Probably you should add your self-raising flour and gradually combine it, maybe using a spoon to combine it. I like to just start it off and get it worked in a little bit with the electric whisk. So I've got 180 grams of self-raising flour. If you don't have self-raising at home, you could use some plain flour. 180 grams of that with probably about a teaspoon of baking powder added to it will give it the rise that the self-raising flour would have. So I'm going to add in my flour. Like I said, I kind of go rogue. I kind of feel how the mixture's doing and make my mind up as I go. This is going to get a bit messy because there's a load of flour gone into a mixture. I'm just going to turn it on and get it started like this. Quite a slow speed for this just as it starts to want to stick together, and you feel that if you pick some bits up, you could bring them together as a lump. That's when you want to stop using your whisk at that stage. And then with your trays, you're going to take a teaspoon of mixture at a time, and you're going to roll it into a little ball between your hands, and you're going to place them on the tray. And it is as simple as that. This mixture says it will make 30. It might make 30. I don't think I've ever quite managed to get to 30 with it, but we'll see. I can't remember. I haven't made these for a few months. But I'm deliberately spacing them out a bit on the tray. They do spread quite a lot as they cook. So I'll just let you see how much space I'm giving them. And I'm trying to keep them a similar size. If you notice you've got particularly some smaller biscuits, then you maybe want to put them nearer the middle of the baking tray to cook. So that's how I should go. I'll do a row of 3, a row of 2, a row of 3, a row of 2 and a row of 3. So that will be 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on a tray. I'll rejoin you when I've got these all ready. They're going to, and I'll just before I put them into the oven. So just getting to the end of rolling these out. At the end it does look a bit like sawdust or whatever left in there. It doesn't look like there's going to be enough to bring it together, but the heat of your hand should still get these to stick together. So I've never really counted before. All I know is that one mixture doesn't ever make enough because they go very quickly in our house. Makes about 30, and I think I have made about 30. This one here might be a little bit smaller than the rest. I think that's just the last little bit that's left. So that's just going to go in the middle of the tray there. These then go into the oven just like this. You don't need to flatten them down, don't need to press them down. They will spread out as they cook. You're looking to cook these for about 8 to 12 minutes. What you're looking for is just around the edges of the biscuits, they start to go a little bit brown. If they go golden brown on top, they're almost overdone. I've always cooked them to a point where they're still soft and quite uncoloured in the middle, but just around the edges they start to go a little bit golden. I'll bring these out the oven in a minute, and what I suggest you do before you get on and make these is that you actually watch what they come out like from the oven so that you know what you're looking for to make sure these biscuits are cooked just right. So these go into the oven about 170 degrees, gas mark 4, for about 8 minutes. Have a little look and see where they're at. It might be that they need 12 to 15 minutes, but start at 8 minutes. Thank you. So honey biscuits have come out the oven. They literally went in for 8 minutes. Now admittedly my oven was quite hot beforehand because I baked some bread earlier. So the oven had cooled down to the right temperature, but it was already warm and ready to go. So after 8 minutes, this is how they came out. If I could say to you, these ones over here are just about how I would expect them to come out of the oven. These ones here, they're okay, they'll still be nice and tasty as well. This one here maybe could do with another minute, but because it's on a baking tray and the rest up to that point are quite nicely cooked, I shall leave them. Now, the next bit is difficult because they smell amazing at this point. I'm not a great biscuit maker, but these are biscuits that I do make and that do go down quite quickly. They smell amazing. Best thing you can do now is to leave them and let them cool down, and then they will stay together when you try and lift them off the tray. At the moment they're so soft that they will just break if you try and pick one up. So leave them on the tray for maybe 5-10 minutes, let them cool down, and then hopefully you'll be able to enjoy one of these. I don't know about you, but today we've had rain, we've had hail, and it's been really quite gloomy. Sort of 5.5 weeks into lockdown. These will certainly cheer people up. Hope you enjoy them as well. Thank you.